Hi everybody, welcome to Source Inspired Speaking. I'm Nathan. Today Spirit's got a message about the small self, the earth self that you've created from looking outward, and then the more expansive self that exists within everything that helped create the small you. It's powerful, it's important, something that can really change your life if you can adopt this new perspective. So please sit back, remove yourself from any distractions, listen to these words, and I'll check back in with you after the message. Hello. Thank you for joining us here today. Today we wish to speak to you about living within your environment and yet not being stuck manifesting what you see around you, and rather being the focus point through which manifestations spread from you into the world. See, as we've said before, each one of you is a powerful creator, that the energies of God flow through you, that the world that manifests around you is a direct result of this God energy that gives you life. And yet it is through your outward focus, focusing upon the world around you, that you have created your sense of identity, that earth body that we talked about before. But this personality, this identity born of the body, is just an aspect of yourself. It's not the whole picture. And yet so often we allow this to become the dominant personality within our reality. We allow this human identity to become the one that creates. But this human identity is formed not from a vast spiritual knowing, not from knowing that you are greater. It's formed by seeing how you fit in with the world around you. And yet who you are is so much bigger. So if you let that small personality dominate, you're letting your creations create your reality. You see, what makes God different from the you that you experience on a normal waking level is that God always creates from a sense of being, a sense that who God is the most important aspect, knowing that everything else will flow from that. And while humans have that same ability, often your focus is upon the small you, the you that you see on the outside, letting your creations create your experience and thus create your sense of self. It's like you build walls all around you and then feel like you are trapped, even though you are the creator of those walls. This is important to remember because if you created the walls, you can create a doorway. You can go under the walls, you can go over. There is always a way out because it is your manifestation, your creation. But not if you let the walls dominate your perspective. If all you can see are the walls around you, then you can't see that you exist inside, outside, and within the walls. Do you realize that you exist within the very problems that you fight against? Every struggle you have, your soul exists within it in a higher vibrational level. Yet every problem that exists only with a solution. Do you realize that you exist within that solution as well? Don't be trapped by the walls you've created around yourself. Expand your sense of who you are. Once you've acknowledged a difficulty in your life, acknowledge that for you to create the difficulty, you've created the solution, that you exist within the solution, that is already there waiting for you. That is your higher self perspective. Your higher self sees nothing done to you because it knows that you exist within the victim mentality, the perpetrator mentality, the hero mentality. You exist within all of these. So when things are done to you in your life, you realize that they are done also for you and through you. This is difficult for many to understand, to grasp, to think that they are doing these things to themselves, but in absolute truth, there is no separation. So it can be no other way. The problem is, the you that you identify with does not exist there, because the you that you identify with is created by looking at those walls. It's created by seeing yourself as the victim. It's created by defining yourself by what you see around you. So when you say, I don't exist within the answer, I don't exist within the person that created the problem, this was done to me. In a sense, you are correct because you are looking at the world through your small self perspective. But your expanded view of reality, your true self, exists way beyond that. You are infinite, as is God. There is no separation. And so just acknowledging that, if something comes up in your life, ask, where do I exist within the solution? How did I help create this? Because every manifestation you've experienced is in some way to help you break through those walls you've created. It's to expand beyond the small self to something bigger. This is why you are here, to keep expanding, to keep growing, to become more like the God from which you came, to experience this reality and all that it offers, to allow you to overcome obstacles, to reach new heights, experiences that God couldn't have without creating a sense of difficulty or struggle. Not to prevent you from being great, to allow you to experience being great. So we hope this helps. We hope this makes sense to you. We hope you can understand that only when you view eyes through the small self, the self created within the walls, do you feel struggle. But when you expand to allow even the possibility that you exist beyond that, you shift your whole perspective and everything changes. We thank you all for being here, and we love you always. So that's a really great message. It's something that came up during the church service that I had earlier in the week, and it really makes sense to me. It kind of expands upon that. It makes you realize that we're looking at life from being stuck within this physical reality. And this identity that we call ourselves is just a small part of who we are. But if we identify with the small you, that's where the struggle comes from. That's where the not finding the solutions, that's where being trapped, that feeling comes from. not realizing that the true you exists beyond that, and you have access to that because it is you. But it's greater than who you identify with. It is a higher vibration, and you can achieve that. You can get to experience that. You can communicate with that. It can help you. You can grow through these small struggles and become a much bigger, more expansive person, more like God, as they said. So I hope this message helps you. I hope it helps you just rethink about your world, change your story that you live in to be one that's more expansive, a story that knows that you exist within the solutions, and you just have to find that part of yourself. And finding yourself is going within. It's not looking out. Looking out creates the small you. Going within, you see the bigger picture. So thank you all for joining me. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of all my upcoming messages. If you could love that like button for me, it really helps me out. And with that, go forth, beautiful creators. Expand beyond the small self and see your whole world become much greater. Thank you. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.